Hello, welcome back. How are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about assisting the light. Now in Kabbalistic studies, we are taught that we are vessels of light, that we come from the Creator, and the Creator is an infinite source of light, and we come here as vessels to be fed that light, to receive that light. And one of the ways that we receive that light is to give the light away. We can't receive it unless we share it. We have to constantly be in a state of sharing the light. And this is actually what light work is all about. It's about receiving the light, holding the light, channeling the light, and giving the light away. And we do this through our actions, of course. We do this by acting better than we feel. That's a really, really important lesson to know, learn, and understand. You've got to try and act better than you feel. And that can be hard to do sometimes, I understand. But in order to change your life and to transform yourself into a magical being, one of the first things you're going to have to learn is how to act better than you feel. Now, this doesn't mean that you got to be a doormat or, put up with somebody's crap or be, allow people to treat you like garbage. You don't have to do that. But what you do need to do is make sure that in your everyday life that you rise above pettiness, rise above how you feel, and give your best in any way that you can. Another thing that I'm going to teach you how to do right this second is I'm going to teach you how to channel light into yourself from the infinite source. And this is how you do it. First of all, you have to understand that above your head is something that we call, we'll just call it the crown. Most people just call it a crown or the crown chakra. Some people call it a ketosphere. There's a whole lot of, some people call it a halo. There's many, many different words. It doesn't really matter. All that does matter is what you're going to do is you're going to sit quietly in a nice space. You're going to light a little candle if you want, some incense. It doesn't really matter. Do whatever feels good to you. Sit quietly and imagine above your head is a big ball of light, about the size of a basketball maybe. And it's a big, bright, shining light. And every time you take a deep breath, you pull that light down into your body. Every time you take a deep breath, it comes from above your head into your head, behind your eyes, into your ears, into your throat, into your chest. Every time you take a breath, you fill up that space inside with divine light. Imagine it. Feel it. Now, it's not going to be easy at first. I find it's easier to do it if you do it in the dark with a candle lit. I like it that way. Because when you close your eyes, you can see the light flicker from the candle, and it feels like you really are absorbing light. And you pull that light all the way through your body and down to the tips of your toes. Just sit and bask in it. Let your body and let yourself, let your spirit just feel like one great big light bulb. And that's how it begins. That really, literally is how it begins. I am not kidding you. I know it seems so simple, and you're thinking to yourself, this chick is nuts, but this is literally how it begins. There are so many people out there, so many great teachers, and one of them is Greg Braden, who I adore, and Dr. Joe Dispenza. Those two guys are awesome because they actually talk about the science of spirituality. That's why I really like those guys, because they really do understand the science behind spirituality. But even those two guys will talk about how we are all connected. We're all connected through this, like a network. It's like the World Wide Web. Think of it like that. Think of it like the World Wide Web. Like all of our laptops are all connected through satellites, yes? Well, it's the same thing. All of our beings are connected through this divine matrix. So when you bring the light down and you bring it into your body and you feel it penetrating your cells, your DNA, your eyes, your teeth, your throat, your heart, that's how you begin to transform yourself. And that's how you begin to really start manifesting a new life. You also can take that light. What I like to do is I use my hands. I'll sit there while I'm imagining and pulling the divine light into my body, and I will put it into my hands like I'm holding it. And sometimes I can really feel my hands getting heavy and heavy and heavy. And then I will just imagine who it is I want to give light to. And I'll say that person's name over and over in my head a few times. And then I just give it to them, just like that. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Well, it's not, and it absolutely works. I've had people call me and tell me that they were thinking about me out of the clear blue, and this will be somebody that I just had given some light to. This kind of stuff really does work. It doesn't make any sense in this day and age. We're not the kind of people that believes in this kind of stuff anymore. There's no logic in it until we learn that there is logic in it, because there is a science behind it, a real, true science behind spirituality. Now, transformation and the divine light and understanding this light, understanding who we are and how to transform ourselves, that's only a tip of the iceberg. Most of us already know that. Most of us are really aware already that inside of us we hold some kind of power to transform ourselves. We just don't really know how to do it, and it does seem really daunting. It seems like we really and truly are just at the mercy of everything that's going on around us, and that it's almost impossible to think and feel yourself into a different person, different reality, a different world. One of the things that you can do, though, is ritual. And that's really why a lot of people start getting into magic in the first place, is because they're drawn to the ritual of it. And they think it's cool. They think it's fun. And they like crystals, and they like magic wands, and they like Harry Potter. They like all that stuff. They like the imagery of it and the idea of it. But what these spells, if you want to call them spells, or these rituals, I just call them rituals. What they do is they set an intention, and you absolutely must set an intention. You absolutely must set an intention. You have to set an intention every time you do a ritual, every time you do a meditation. Because what this intention does, what these intentions do, is they reiterate to you who you truly are and what it is you're truly trying to do. They help you to remember. They help you to put it out there into space. What kind of transformation you're trying to make. That's why spells are so powerful and potent. You need to constantly remind yourself of who it is you truly are and who it is you truly want to be. And that's why I do rituals. That's why I do ritual work. That's why people use sigils, or they make poppets. Those are really big. And talismans are really big. People love to do that. You put your intention into your project. You put your intention into the ritual. Therefore, you just added that much more power to the transformation process. Does that make sense? I hope so. I like to make crystal grids. I like to charge crystals with my intention. I love crystals. Crystals are fun. I also really like writing my own little chants. And I do like using sigils sometimes. You know, just drawing on a piece of paper something that gives you the image of what it is. It's like you're drawing up an image, you're creating an image of what it is you're trying to create for yourself. And there's lots of sigil books out there. You can use those if you want. You don't have to. You can just make something up. But whatever it is you're drawing, the sigil that you're drawing needs to have an intention behind it and an idea behind it. I think a lot of people get really too caught up in what they read in books. You know, well, I'm supposed to have this kind of herb, and it needs to be mixed with this kind of herb, and I have to have this color candle, and if I don't have it right, it's not going to be right. You know, it's bogus. All those are just tools to help you get creative. Open up yourself spiritually and open up yourself creatively. I went through a hypnosis period once. It was really bizarre. And what I learned by going through hypnosis was the tools that these gods and goddesses used, you know, like King Poseidon, and he had his trident. That was his creation. That was something he created. That was a magical tool that was all his own, that he came up with all on his own. That was just his thing. That's what he was into. That's what he wanted to make, so that's what he made. That was his magical tool. And I just thought that was really interesting. I don't know where it came from. It was just something that I started talking about in the middle of a hypnosis session one day. And when I kind of came out of my hypnosis, hypnosis is just a way for your subconscious mind to speak to you. And when I came out of hypnosis, I realized how creative and how much fun you get to have while doing this kind of work. You can do anything you want, as long as it raises your vibration and it feels good to you. If you can make any kind of spiritual or magical tool you want. You can buy them, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also make them. And you can make them anything that you want that feels right to you and gives you the power that you want it to give you. And you give it the power you want it to have because it's yours. It's your tool. I thought that was really, really interesting. So there it is. That's your first lesson in transforming yourself. That's your first lesson in spiritual alchemy. Your very first lesson in spiritual alchemy is drawing down divine light. Pull it down, pull it into your body, sit with it, think about who you want to give divine light to, and give it to them. And that's your very, very first lesson. That, brothers and sisters, is what being a light worker truly and really is. And we're going to talk more about magic and transformation and some really, really excellent authors and books and things that I think that might help you on your journey. And we will talk about that next time. So you guys all have a beautiful, wonderful night.